Have you ever wondered what life would be like if humanity's future depended on floating islands, solar panels, and green energy? Yeah, me neither. As a lifelong fan of diesel punk and steampunk, I've never thought I'd be willing to touch something called solarpunk. And yet, here we are. Alright, nerds. I know some of you are too busy conquering your to-do list or just mentally clocked out to watch a full 7-minute video, so here's the skinny. We're taking a look at a game called Solarpunk, an open-world survival craft base building co-op that's also somehow tagged as cozy. It's developed by Cyberwave and published by Rocka Play. The demo claims to be 1 to 2 hours long. I clocked about an hour in, and honestly, it's way chiller than I expected. I went in bracing for energy sermon, but came out thinking, maybe vibes are enough. Am I wishlisting it? Absolutely. Alright, now for those of you looking for something a little bit more in-depth, let's take a look at my first impressions of Solarpunk. Visually, it's impressive, genuinely impressive. You can tell that the devs and artists put a lot of care and heart into the world. The trees, the rocks, the iron nodes, every little detail looks polished and deliberate. Honestly, if you told me this was a finished game, I'd probably believe you. I know that might sound like an exaggeration, but that's how it felt. For a demo, it's seriously well put together. Now, when it comes to the interface, it's pretty basic in the best possible way. You've got your hotbar at the bottom, tab opens your inventory, F brings up a simple crafting menu, nothing wild or overly complicated. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel here, and that actually works in its favor. Now, the onboarding experience was pretty simple. It was unobtrusive and just enough. There's a small tutorial prompt in the right corner that says things like craft an axe, chop a tree, gather raspberries. It doesn't hold your hand, but it gives you a gentle nudge in the right direction, and it lets you do your thing. Now, technically speaking, the game does have a health, hunger, and thirst meter. But I never really felt like I was in danger. There was no real pressure. I never got the sense that I was about to starve or die of dehydration. And honestly, I kind of appreciated that. It let me focus on exploring instead of micromanaging my existence and rushing me towards the end of the demo, even though I did that anyway. As for the overall vibe, super chill, super relaxed, no enemies, no monsters, no aggressive wildlife, just me, the trees, and one solitary chicken wandering around. I didn't touch it. I was afraid I'd break the demo or trigger the poultry apocalypse. So I just checked on it from time to time like it was my little emotional support bird. Or fowl. Bird? Whatever. Overall, it was a great experience. I don't usually go for chill survival crafting games. My comfort zone is more of the grim, dark, explodey side of things, but this was refreshing. A change of pace. Peaceful, immersive, and honestly, kind of addicting. So, let's talk gameplay. Core mechanics, how it feels to play, and what stood out. Super straightforward. You collect resources, you use resources, and repeat. It's classic survival crafting 101. No surprises there. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. It's simple, familiar, and easy to get into. Now, in terms of play, it was pretty smooth. Actually, surprisingly smooth. The controls were responsive, and moment-to-moment interaction felt clean. That said, I did run into a few pacing hiccups, like waiting for certain resources to respawn, cotton, raspberries, stuff like that. It wasn't game-breaking, but it slowed me down, especially since I was more focused on completing the demo than just vibing. There was also a small amount of, oh, duh, on my part. I spent a good chunk of time thinking I was boxed in when really, if I had just explored a little bit more, I'd have realized I could break through the rocks on the cliff above me. This would have opened up a whole new section of the island earlier on. Totally on me, but hey, that's a heads up for future players. Now, in terms of balance and challenges, honestly, it was pretty light. There were no enemies, no monsters, no real threats to speak of. The game clearly wasn't trying to stress me out, and for a demo, that felt intentional. It was about learning the systems and getting a taste of the vibe, not throwing you into a death spiral, and it worked. It felt good, relaxed, focused on building and exploring. Now, when it comes to moments, I did have a favorite part, and I have to say it was the airship. Easily. Near the end of the demo, you get to build a little dock, craft an airship, and then boom, you're flying. Gathering all of the materials and assembling the parts and then taking off, that was the moment I really did like this game. And it controlled great with a mouse and keyboard. I was already imagining all the roleplay potential. Naming my ship, setting off on floating island adventures, building skyports. It gave me this quiet little dopamine hit I didn't expect from a solar-powered chillcraft demo. Alright, so did Solarpunk pass the vibe check? Yeah, it did. I was totally locked in while chopping trees and mining stone. It was relaxed, comfortable. Normally when I play survival games, I'm always looking over my shoulder, hunting for my next meal, or watching out for bad guys or players. But here, I just got to sit back and get lost in the atmosphere. Totally chill. The music, the sounds, all solid. Now, for those who don't know, and if you're new to the channel, I record most of my videos at night, after my wife and my lovely daughter goes to sleep. It's the full-time job life, you know? So, the relaxed, chill music caught me off guard, in a good way. There were moments when I was mining or chopping and my eyes started to get a little heavy. It really made me feel like I was all alone on my own island, and I was just chilling. I will admit this, and this is probably one thing, but again, it's a demo, so I can't be too harsh on my criticism. The lack of a narrative. Now, honestly, there's not much to go here. Now, according to the Steam page, the description says this: Solarpunk is a survival game in a technically advanced world of floating islands. Alone or with friends, build, grow food, craft gadgets, and explore distant lands with your own airship. Use sunlight, wind, and water to create energy systems. Gather resources and water plants. Now that's a lot of potential for a great story. So I'm very curious as to how this is going to go down. Because is this an alternate reality? Is this a distant planet somewhere out in space? Or is this Earth's future? So many questions. Now, I don't know yet, but I hope they give us something awesome. And again, I can't stress this enough. When it comes to the tone and the mood of the game, it was just chill vibes all around. No drama, no dark twists, just good vibes. Which honestly is pretty cool for a survival game. Alright, first off, when it comes to settings and options, it was pretty straightforward. Nothing complicated or confusing. And honestly, I don't think anything needs to be changed here. The controls felt natural on a keyboard, so there were no weird quirks or anything. Now, in terms of controller support, I didn't see anything listed on the Steam page. My guess is this: it's probably going to come later, hopefully, and maybe around mid-development or closer to the final release. That's usually how it goes, right? Now, bugs, glitches, and polish, honestly, none to speak of. Like I said before, the demo felt like a full game already. That's pretty impressive for a demo. Now, in terms of performance, I didn't have any frame rate drops, I didn't have any crashes, there were no weird bug freezes. It was all smooth sailing. So I'm gonna put the names of the devs out there. Ben and Patrick, you guys did a great job. Alright, so I mentioned this before, but let me dive a little bit deeper. There was this part of the demo where I was completely oblivious to something super obvious. Like if I smashed those rocks, I could get to the top. It just didn't click for me. No brain power. I'm blaming the fact that I was recording late at night and my brain was already half in tomorrow's work mode. Anyway, once I finally broke through the rocks, I got up there. And then I started hearing some clucking. I was thinking to myself, what the heck is that? So I go exploring the plateau, and there's this chicken just standing there, clucking. I wanted to see if I could hunt it. I had my trusty axe that I've been using to chop trees. My survival instincts were starting to kick in. Dinner. But then I thought, wait, what if this chicken is somehow important? Like, keeping the island alive or something. I know it sounds dumb, but that's exactly what I thought. So every now and then, while waiting for cotton and raspberries to grow, I'd go check on the chicken. Just a little chicken check-in ritual before going back down to my crops. Yeah, that happened. Now, the second standout moment, the airship. I really hope they add different ship designs, especially since this is a co-op game. I mean, I don't really have friends to play with, but imagine having friends on their own airships, or even on one airship with different styles, doing their own thing. That'd be pretty cool. Flying the airship was a blast too. It's not just flying straight and easy, there's turbulence, which is really cool. Like, my ship would veer off to the side, I'd be trying to wrestle control back. It made piloting feel exciting. Controller support would definitely help here, but I still had fun with mouse and keyboard. Alright, so now we're at the moment of truth. If you couldn't already tell, my verdict is a big, fat, resounding yes. I'm absolutely wishlisting this game. Ben and Patrick, you've officially earned a spot on my wish list. And I'm really hoping by release date I have enough money in my bank account to buy it so I can play it and stream it. Honestly, I didn't think I'd enjoy this one. I'm the guy who literally yells death to trees while playing Factorio. So you can imagine my initial skepticism about a game all about green energy and cozy survival. But this demo, it left me wanting more. Even with just the little breadcrumbs they gave us in the demo, it's enough to say yes. Absolutely. Everything I saw at the end, automation, exploration, the different islands with unique resources, traveling between them, eventually using transport bots to move stuff around, this all looked fantastic. I'm genuinely excited. I can't really sum it up in a nice, neat sentence, but I'm thoroughly pleased and honestly surprised that a genre marked as cozy got me hooked on wanting to play more. And that's pretty cool. So yeah, Ben and Patrick, amazing job. Seriously. Alright, Nerd Nation, there you have it. Another demo, and one that I've got to say I was really pleased to play. Honestly, I don't think I've played a demo before that I actually wishlisted. At least not that I remember. This might be the first one that stuck with me like that. Even if I did before, I don't remember, but this one definitely stands out. I'm genuinely looking forward to the full release. It's really awesome. So, if you get a chance, check out the Steam page. Link will be in the description. The demo's up now, and the full game is set to release later in 2025. If you're into something chill, no monsters lurking, no constant looking over your shoulder, this might be the game for you. As always, I'll be lurking in the comments, so drop your thoughts. Have you tried the demo? Did you enjoy the gameplay I showed? Planning to try it? Come back and tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Alright, that's it for now. And always remember, take care of yourself and each other. God bless. Nerd out.